6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The morning news edited by Lal Mallavarachi, read by Sounditavam. The SLBC Accident and Medical Insurance Scheme arranged by the Ministry of Mass Media will be launched today. The Minister of Power and Energy stresses the need to monitor the quality of LNG gas and fuel imported to Sri Lanka. The daily count of COVID-19 cases increased to 744 yesterday. Parliament will convene at 9 a.m. today for the 9th day of the committee stage budget debate. Health guidelines will be strictly followed during the Sripada pilgrim season, which begins on the 18th of this month. In foreign news, the EU chief says it is time to consider mandatory jabs to control Omicron. In sports, Manchester United co-chairman Avram Glazer has bought a team in the new United Arab Emirates 2020 League. The SLBC Accident and Medical Insurance Scheme arranged by the Ministry of Mass Media will be launched today under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at Temple Trees. The insurance cover will be provided free of charge to journalists, making the vistas of prosperity a reality. Accordingly, 98 journalists representing all media institutions will receive the benefit. The Minister of Power and Energy, Udaya Gammanpilla, stresses the need to closely monitor the quality of LNG gas and fuel imported to Sri Lanka. There should be standards for the pressure included in a domestic cylinder. He further says the Petroleum Corporation has incurred a loss of 70 billion rupees during the first 10 months of this year. He said not revising the price of fuel has led to the situation. He also said that the Electricity Board should pay 120 billion rupees. Meanwhile, the chairman of the corporation said there are sufficient stocks of fuel in the storage facilities. The daily count of COVID-19 cases confirmed in Sri Lanka moved to 744 yesterday. The epidemiology unit says this brings the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 564,733. As many as 540,783 recoveries and 14,372 deaths have been confirmed in Sri Lanka since the COVID-19 outbreak. More than 9,500 active cases are currently under medical care. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus, the best option.
Today is the 9th day of the committee stage budget debate. Parliament will convene at 9 a.m. today. Taking part in yesterday's debate, Minister Dallas Alaperuma said the Ministry of Education should pay special attention on the education of differently abled children. He proposed to convert all colleges of education into universities. State Minister Dr. Sita Aramepola said the strength of women should be used for the country's development and economic growth. She said the State Ministry of Education has implemented many projects to modernize the education sector. The annual Sripada pilgrim season begins from Unduva Full Moon Poya Day on the 18th of this month for the 2021-2022 season. The chief incumbent of the Sripadaya, Most Venerable Bengamwe Dhammadinna Mahanayaka Thera says that health guidelines will be strictly considered during the pilgrim season. Visitors can go there without any hassle if they take their COVID immunization card with them. A series of religious activities to mark the beginning of the season will be held at the Sripada Rajamahaviharaya Temple prior to Poya Day. That concludes local news.
In 200 meters, turn left.
This is not just my daily commute. I drive to power my nation's future.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus introduces specialized motor insurance for you who drive our nation forward. Choose tailor-made insurance solutions. Up to 75,000 rupees claim settlements within 3 working hours. Exclusive discounts through Motor Plus loyalty rewards. Easy and 0% interest payment plans.
Only from Sri Lanka Insurance.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Agrarian Development Commissioner General A.H.M.L. Aberatna says that the government has already provided 4,500 million rupees to 805,601 farmers to produce organic solid fertilizer. The Commissioner also pointed out that this money has been provided for 647,681 hectares of paddy lands. Speaking at a workshop on the National Dialogue on the Progress of Organic Cultivation held at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall in Colombo, he said that 7,000 metric tons of organic solid fertilizer has been produced at agrarian development regional centres countrywide. In addition, 85 machines to crush the raw material used for the production of organic solid fertilizer have been provided to the agrarian development regional centres. The Commissioner said that steps have been taken to provide raw material cutting machines and lawnmowers to all agrarian development regional centres to expedite the process of organic solid fertilizer production, and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
The World Health Organization says that people 60 and older who are not vaccinated or have not previously had COVID-19 should postpone travelling to areas with community transmission, citing the spread of the Omicron variant. The WHO has issued a press release criticising widespread travel bans and arguing that essential travel should continue so long as travellers remain vigilant. It has recommended that each nation assess its own risk and implement measures like screening passengers for COVID-19 and enforcing a quarantine for international travellers if the need arises. That came to you in Watchlight.
If you follow technical and vocational education and training courses, select a course registered and accredited institute by TVEC. Be aware on unregistered institutes which are promoting without having registration. Visit www.tvec.gov.lk for more information. Message from Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
Moving on to a bulletin of world news, making headlines this morning, the EU chief says it is time to consider mandatory jabs to control Omicron. Munich World War II bomb blows up near station, wounding 4. And scientists claim big advance in using DNA to store data. European Union countries should consider mandatory vaccination to combat COVID and the Omicron variant, the head of its commission has said. Ursula von der Leyen said vaccines would be crucial in the fight against the highly contagious new variant. Some 24 countries have reported cases of Omicron, and the EU has tightened travel restrictions since it was first reported earlier this month. European countries have also been facing a wider spike in cases. 4 people were hurt, 1 seriously, when a World War II bomb blew up on a railway station construction site in the German city of Munich. The fire brigade says it happened during drilling work near Donnersberger's Bridge, close to the main station. As a result, rail traffic in much of Munich was brought to a standstill. Unexploded wartime bombs are frequently found in Germany and prompt big excavations, but most are diffused by experts without exploding. Scientists say they have made a dramatic step forward in efforts to store information as molecules of DNA. The magnetic hard drives we currently use to store computer data can take up lots of space and also have to be replaced as they age. Using life's preferred storage medium to back up our precious data would allow a vast amount of information to be archived in tiny molecules. The data would also last thousands of years, according to scientists. Back to the headlines of the world news. The EU chief says it is time to consider mandatory jabs to control Omicron. Munich World War II bomb blows up near station, wounding 4. And scientists claim big advance in using DNA to store data. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe says plans are on to increase the production capacity of organic fertilizer by the local government authorities up to 100,000 metric tons per month to enhance organic fertilizer production in the country. He said that a number of local government bodies are currently engaged in manufacturing 37,000 metric tons of organic fertilizer using daily collected domestic garbage and waste from the vegetable markets in their areas. Increasing the production capacity of manufacturing organic fertilizer at local authority level will provide a greater solution for the waste disposal for their institutions, as well as helping to fulfill the national requirement of organic fertilizer. That came to you in Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on to sports news. Today is the fourth day of the second test between the West Indies and Sri Lanka, being played at the Galle International Stadium. Sri Lanka made 204 in their first innings and were 46 for 2 at the end of the third day's play yesterday. Earlier, the West Indies made 253 in their first innings. Manchester United co-chairman Avram Glazer has bought a team in the new United Arab Emirates 2020 League. Glazer, who owns NFL Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, purchased the franchise through his private equity firm, Lancer Capital. The inaugural UAE T20 League is set to feature 6 teams and 34 matches, taking place in February and March next year. 61-year-old Glazer said he is very excited to be part of the UAE T20 at its formation. The UAE T20 promises to be a world-class event that will be transformative to the growth of cricket in the Emirates. That came to you in sports news. Business news up next.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The central bank will pay an extra premium of 10 rupees for US dollars converted into rupees by expatriate workers during the month of December, up from an existing 2 rupees. The central bank said the extra 10 rupees will be paid from January 1st to December 31st, inclusive of both days. Banks generally convert US dollars of workers at around 197.5 rupees. That's business news. Economic news up next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The construction industry accounts for 6% of global GDP and is considered to be a powerful stimulant for economic growth. In Sri Lanka, the construction industry contributes 7.1% to the GDP of the country. The future of the global construction industry looks promising, and according to some estimates, it is expected to reach $10.5 trillion by 2023. This presents numerous opportunities for Sri Lankan construction organizations to venture abroad. The construction services is a potential export income earner for the country. That's economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Looking at the weather report, the Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in the central, Uva and northwestern provinces during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Uva, central and Sabragama provinces during the morning. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The SLBC accident and medical insurance scheme arranged by the Ministry of Mass Media will be launched today. The Minister of Power and Energy stresses the need to monitor the quality of LNG gas and fuel imported to Sri Lanka. The daily count of COVID-19 cases increased to 744 yesterday. Parliament will convene at 9 a.m. today for the 9th day of the committee stage budget debate. Health guidelines will be strictly followed during the Sripada pilgrim season, which begins on the 18th of this month. The EU chief says it is time to consider mandatory jabs to control Omicron. And Manchester United co-chairman Avram Glazer has bought a team in the new United Arab Emirates 2020 League. That concludes this morning's news broadcast, and now it's back to your hostess, Geethanjali Ramanayaka.